Hey everyone, this is Tracy with Color Me This. Today is episode 255. It is our weekly color review. I actually managed to get some extra coloring completed this week in preparation for October, which is going to be a very exciting month with my mom being here. So I'm kind of doing some pre-coloring. Fall is my favorite season to color, and usually I am traveling. This will be my first year in Florida. Since I've moved here 3 years ago, we have been traveling up to North Carolina every October, so we get to see the fall colors. So I am all prepared for my mom being here to live forever here with us in the community. I've got my fall coloring to do to take care of that lack of fall colors that I have seen for my entire life. And we are going to review all of my projects and then go over some stats. And hopefully it will go pretty quickly. So first, Romantic Country, because this is the one that I have to have the camera pulled very far away. We are working on this page right here. I have 2 polls. I haven't even looked at them. I have been not only very busy planning for my mom's return, which is going to be a variety of things are arriving next week, including them in person. But their vehicles are also coming, I think, a day or 2 before them. All right, so if I open what I want to share with you, 2 polls. One poll is, do you want to see me color all of the ivy and wisteria viney elements? Yes, I want to see you color all the ivy and wisteria. That's at 64%. I figure rather than me having to decide, it would be great if you guys could participate and decide, because I'm happy to do it. It just means it'll take longer to do the page, but I don't feel this is an overly complicated page compared to the previous page, which took many, many parts. So I am happy to color the ivy with you guys. Here is what I was playing with, and I like how that looks. I like the vibrancy of it. So I will continue on with that. And then the next question was, do you guys want to watch me do the line art of the brickwork with the stencil? I'm just not sure if people would find that interesting or not. So I took a poll, and that one is even more. 79% of the votes are for watching me draw the brick, and I have no problem doing it. So we will be doing this a little bit slower, and I will be sharing more of what I do with you guys in real time. So because of all the other activities and doing 2 days of Romantic Country, which was a great break from Small Victories, and the images felt so big for me that I colored in all of the whips that I worked on this week outside of Small Victories. So Small Victories ended up being a 1-page. I might actually leave this out this far for my other images to share. All right, so I colored 4 images using a very small color palette. I compared, for whatever reason, the Irojiten, I did not feel that I needed to swatch, though I do believe that this color, no, that might be the Light Fast. So the favorite, I put a plus by the one I liked the best. And though I have a minus here by the Light Fast, so it was Starjoy Gold, Castle Arts Gold. I felt both were very similar, and I thought that they would be similar. And the Irojiten, which I have not had the full color palette to choose my colors from, but it was a small color palette, and they are a light layering pencil, and they just felt like putting on my favorite shoes. And though they don't come out as vibrant, I actually felt that the background green that I chose did a nice job, and it lacked the hot pink. There is no hot pink in here. Not only that, the burgundy, the darkest of the burgundy maroon color wasn't so dark, but look at how bright it came out on copy paper. I was very impressed with how well the Irojiten did on copy paper. So they tend to do well on with a little bit of tooth, and I know that they are a more finicky pencil to work with and have the tendency to not be very vibrant. But overall, you can see here that I don't see the Irojiten as like less vibrant. And I could work harder. I could have really worked hard and maybe looked for a darker burgundy color to brighten that up, because I didn't even have the hot pink to work with. And the light fast, they have never been my favorite. The thing that they do, they kind of don't have a good feel to them for me. The pencils feel really chunky, and the pigments they have a stickiness, not a smooth, silky smooth kind of a feel. And they never have, but they always produce a really good result. So the two that I think have a visual result that I really like would be the Starjoy Gold and the Light Fast. The Light Fast had no hot pink. I only had, this was the closest to hot pink. So I had my dark, and then that weird magenta is what it's called, and then this dusky pink. That's it. And I feel that the colors came out really nice, given that I was limited in my color palette. And I really like how vibrant the background came out. That's why these two I think are my favorite, because the backgrounds are so deep. And I didn't want to like get into trying to fix the backgrounds on these other two. I just wanted to color them the way they were. I felt as a surprise that the Light Fast, though I say weren't my favorite, they actually were not as frustrating as I felt they would be. I was able to sharpen the tips pretty sharp. You did see some breakage. At least 2 tips broke on me when I was trying to get in and get the dark depth that I was after. But they were not overly frustrating to use, and I had hardly any crumbs. I also, Castle Arts have a tendency to be crumbly as well, and those didn't have crumbs. Maybe it's the colors that I picked, I'm not really sure. And I do really think that this came out nice, and I do wish that the background, if I had darker colors, I think the Irojiten and the Castle Arts miss some of the darker colors that I would love to have. But overall, a very fun week of coloring. And our next page, I had said that Light Fast was the last set for this current round I've been working on, which seems forever because it was before we went back to my mom's. That I think I was 4 or 5 sets in when I went there. This top row gets to be Brutfuner squares, so I missed that. That's what we will start with tomorrow, and I will be pulling out, because I already have a bunch of the Brutfuners pulled for Romantic Country. I have a different set that I can pull, so I don't have to be juggling the pencils across 2 different projects. I'm not sure if I can do all 4 in a day, so this might take a while. We'll see. So that's next week. Then I kind of got into a Susie sidetrack mode. So my mom, being that she's coming here, interrupts me a lot with texts as they're journeying. I told her to send pictures. You know, I'm being as involved as I can with them, and I cannot sleep. So the other night, it's 1 a.m. Hub is gone, but he's been doing really good at going to bed at a decent hour, where I have not. And I've been getting up super early, so I'm just losing hours of sleep. I told her, you need to hurry up and get here. And so I picked up a project I had already seen for fall last year, that Disney Meg's Coloring did the how many pumpkins did I color. And because of that from last year, I actually brought a picture with me on vacation. I had printed out, and I did finish it. And so I watched her video for this year to see, like, how does it work. And this is probably officially my first community involvement project that I have done. And it's kind of fun because it gives me more choices. Like, it narrows my choices from just pick a coloring page. The options are endless. There are thousands of free coloring pages, and I have plenty of coloring books now to be able to scan or color in. So I will share all of the ones that I picked. We will count the pumpkins. For today, I set a goal to myself of coloring the pumpkins. So I officially have in my hand one finished page, but I'm not going to count it for this week because it's actually pulled from last year. And I have 5 whips. So here is what I colored last year. This was done using Copic markers for the sky and the bats, and a little glitter on the cat's moon. This is a Ruby Charm Colors free downloadable, and I used Prang. And I spent a long time. I did do a video on this last year about messing up and doing a terrible job with my white. I believe all I had was the jelly roll, and it was just such a fail that I tried to scratch it off and color over it. So if it looks a little bit odd, it really is. But I will keep it forever. It's a good example to share with coloring group people what the capabilities are of the class provided pencils. The second one I found, which is also from last year, I started, and it again was a demonstration that I shared in the group. I think it was focusing on the wood. And so this is a Castle Arts freebie. And so I was demonstrating the 4 or so. Oh, it's pouring down rain and sunny. We might have thunder in a minute. We'll see. So this wood, how you can take the 4 or 5 Prang browns and just mix them together to get a nice varied wood. So I did the same technique to get my pumpkin count up a little bit higher. I took every peach or orange into the orange red for these pumpkins. There's 3 pumpkins I get to count. I don't think there's any more. So we will be counting the pumpkins here. I already counted the Ruby Charms pumpkins and added them to my chart. I wasn't going to allow myself to count them if they had not been colored at all. So that was my requirement. So there's 3 more pumpkins. Here are the colors, and I have already in my description, I am going to have all of the colors for every one of these pages, just the pumpkin colors. So here's all of these lovely Prang colors, and they all go light. They march along and go light to dark just very nicely. And I did actually just put the names because they don't have numbers. These numbers are my own organization numbers. So I was very pleased with how my pumpkins came out. This was the first one I colored last night, trying to get caught up. I had already done a start on 2 other pumpkins because I wanted to get involved in more community things. I had an email from RJ Hampson with a buddy color. His birthday is in September, so it's a group buddy color, and the download was included, so I had started that one. And then while I was looking at that, I do not know how I stumbled onto it, but I belong to the Teresa Goodridge Facebook group, and she has a September coloring group color buddy, and I printed that out. So this one I already started. I started it when I was finishing up with the Irojitens earlier this week. I had them sitting here, and the pumpkins took an extensive amount of time, but remember, I'm not sleeping at night, so I was sitting watching something on, streaming something, sitting in the recliner late at night, and I used these 3, which again, the numbers, and then the numbers will be on the description. So these are 3 pencils, And then I even have started but haven't finished using a blender, the Caran d'Ache Full Blender Bright, to smooth out some of the tooth. This is a rough of the other little experiment. This is the Spring Hill paper. I bought a ream of it, I don't know, 2 years ago and realized I have not even used it. So I will flip over the two that I showed you that were from last year, were done with the Nina. And I have 2 more Spring Hills to talk about. So every one of these images we're done with a different set of pencils. And I chose the first 2 based on the fact that Prang was what I started with for the bird. So I used Prang. The Irojiten were sitting here because I was finishing up my Irojiten floral circle. So I used the Irojiten. And then on the fall that I printed out, here it is, I used the Starjoy Gold because I have them out working on my conversion chart. I was trying to think of the word conversion. So I'm working on that. So these were out. So I used a variety of colors. And how many pumpkins do I get? This is a good one. 10. So I get the rest of the month to finish this up. No, I don't get the rest of the month. This is the September coloring color buddy in the group. And so I will try in the next few days. This will be one of my top priorities to get done. And the next one is also going to be a top priority to get done. So this is, nope, not this one. I already showed you. This one needs to be done for the month of September as well and emailed back to RJ Hampson. So I will do that. This one will be easier to do than the very busy fall. Love the Starjoy Gold pencils there. They were lovely to work with. And that is, again, these. The colors I have. Oh, it's on the Spring Hill. And here's how many colors. I used 8 different colors, light to dark. And tried to vary. Here's a light one, and here's a little bit light orangey one, and there's a super dark one. So that was fun. Then the next one that I started, I chose it over the final one. It'll be very apparent why. I asked Hub before, this was last night before he went to bed, I said, hey, I need to get 2 more of these pumpkin pages done. And I showed him this one, and he nodded that this was like a favorite for him. And I said, what pencils should I use to color it? And he said Black Widow. And I know that he's just saying Black Widow because he's heard the name. I don't know that he really knows what they are. And here is the coloring for the little pumpkins, and it's going to be hard to tell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. I might have like 8. That should probably be 9, and it's not even colored. 10, 11. We'll just say a dozen. And this is when I did the flip through of Mountain King, I actually showed that this, I had in the spine is some shadowing, and I had to cut it off. So I had to cut this down. So this one is not time sensitive. I can take as long as I want on it. Same with the bird. I just have the 2, and then the third or fifth and final one, I picked the pencils. They weren't like sitting out. I went, what is the pencil that I feel is easiest and quickest to color with? So the reason why is, look how big these pumpkins are. So I chose the Kalour 180 3.8 core, and I picked, this is on Nina. This is not done. I have colored them one layer for all 5 colors. My 5 colors, I would love to share with you. Here it is. Yeah, there's 5 colors. So here is my light to dark. And I have gone one layer with all 5 colors, and then I have gone back through like one more layer with 45, which is the dark russet color. And then I wanted to stop because I wanted to share with you guys what it looks like. Oh, that was thunder. Not burnished, because very soon here, as I get deeper, if I go and do another, here you can see where the darks are starting to burnish themselves and the tooth is getting pretty filled in. So this is, I would call it just past what I call the ugly phase. It's starting to look nice, but it needs a lot more work. And so I wanted to have it at a good stopping point to share. So it's a whip. Then these squash, I'm probably going to do green. The ones that I've seen and grown, they're like speckly green with light bits. And so I will come up with that. But I have nothing but time for this one as well, because I don't have a timeline for when it needs to be done. And this is, and there's 10 of them, and I am not including the squash as a pumpkin. This is probably going to be all of the pumpkins I will be doing because of the schedule for this month. I will be keeping this. I have a big spreadsheet that I keep all sorts of coloring information. I will make a new sheet. I will call it How Many Pumpkins 2024, although it's going to just be How Many Pumpkins with at Disney Meg's Coloring, who's the host. And then each year I think she will do a new tag for that. And so that's going to be very fun to be able to be coloring with a purpose. So I'm very excited for that. That is all I have for completed pages. So in all of that talking, I only completed one page, and it was a small one at that. Okay, so the last bit is also interesting. So my channel, because my channel is nearing, oh, and I just watched it ding, 1 new subscriber. Well, that's nice. So because of my busyness, and I already in August was pretty much I only colored 3 times with you guys in August while I was gone, the first 2 weeks of August. So I didn't like how the chart went down with lower visits and lower subscribers. So I'm going to be very busy in the next 2 weeks, so I'm doing a lot of prep work so that I can still be coloring and doing coloring work with you guys and not lose as much traction. But here's what happened. You can post too much. I have not had a negative for a day where it was a minus number for subscribers. I would have to go back. It might be 10 months, a year ago that I had somebody leave. And I actually had 2 people leave yesterday. And I think it's a guess. It could be some totally different thing. But my theory is I have been inundating with people with my content that I want to get out because it's timely, and if I don't post it, then I will lose the traction, and then the interest is not quite going to be there. Like the timeliness of pumpkins and the fact that I've been up late at night. So I needed to get those going and get those done. I had my haul that I hauled more than I had expected, and had some fun shopping experiences to share that are dated. You know, the sale is going to end on October 2nd at Joann's, so I need to post that. So anyhow, but now looking at my weekly report is not that bad. My views are up 25%, 29% more than the previous 7 days at 2.8K. Watch time 48% more. So I am benefiting from posting more, in that I'm getting way more watch time, but I don't need watch time right now, and my watch time for the rolling 12 months is like way over the minimum to be monetized. And of course the goal for all this is just to see how long does it take me to get monetized. So then I had subscribers expecting that number to be low because I saw the downward, the number go down 2 times yesterday. So that kind of makes me kind of sad. I have to kind of shake it off and not worry about it. What will be, and I'm doing what I can do. So 33% more than the previous 7 days. So I had a fantastic subscriber week with 24 subscribers. But you will see on the printout when I put it up, because there's nothing here, and I'm always supposed to leave something. And look, I did not do that. So there, we'll put the pumpkins back. But I'm almost finished. So, subscribers up, 24 for the week. And then I have the last 48 hours of views have enough views. There's no hour that's like you can hardly see the blue bar. So I think the least, if I take my mouse, the lowest hour in the last 48 hours was 5 hours on Friday between 7 and 8 p.m. So that's perfect. And then the top 3 videos are consistently, you know, the latest ones. It's actually 252, 251, and 254. Phew. So that is it. And I do apologize if you don't like to get bombarded with too much content. I just want to make sure that I get everything on my desk, all of my stuff that I'm trying to get out the door. I want to get out the door before next week. So I will see you tomorrow at the Daily Color. Be sure to comment anything about the pumpkins. Have any questions? I've put in the description for each of these images, you know, the little story, and if it actually is related to a community event that's happening. I've got that information as well as links. So hopefully everybody has a great rest of the day. Don't forget to color, and we will resume the Daily Color tomorrow. I will see you then.